Thank you for joining us. Here are today's announcements. Oh, aren't they so cute? And they're having a bake sale on the patio. Support the pet ministry for baked goodies and then take a new friend or 3 home after services. It's happening on the patio today, immediately after service. The pet ministry, bake sale, and adoption.
But wait, there's more.
Thank you for joining us. Here are today's announcements. Oh, aren't they so cute? And they're having a bake sale on the patio. Support the pet ministry for baked goodies and then take a new friend or 3 home after services. It's happening on the patio today, immediately after service. The pet ministry, bake sale, and adoption. The 4th Wednesday of every month in the Ohm Room from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., it's Wednesday Wisdom Service with Reverend Ruth Ann Banner and Michael Kukuru. If you need a little midweek spiritual pick-me-up, this is just what the doctor ordered. Dr. Joe, that is. So mark your calendar for Wednesday Wisdom Service. Speaking of just what the doctor ordered, the new The Doctor Is In class is here. Wednesday, June 6th at 11 a.m. and then again in the evening at 6:30 p.m. Each class will be a different lesson. Take one for only $10 or both for $15. The Doctor Is In with Dr. Joe, Wednesday, June 6th, 11 a.m. or 6:30 p.m. Join us for both. Dale Olansky is back, and she's taking us deeper. This is a 6-week experiential journey designed to deepen your spirituality through reading, discussion, and guided meditation. The investment is only $75 with a huge ROI in your spiritual bank account. Sign up today on the patio. It's time to move over into the HOV lane, but you can't do it by yourself. So why not ride share to CSL Sunday services? If you'd like to expand your circle of friends and save the planet, just sign up on the patio and make the ride share connection today. If you would like more information about all that's happening this week at the center, please refer to your bulletin.
All right, now it's time. Ready?
All right, good morning, everybody. I release, let's hit 'em, and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm. Hey, say hello to somebody around you. Release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Joe. Wow. I left my tiara at home, but wasn't that an amazing wedding? I don't know if anybody had a chance to watch it, and I mean, given the circumstances that are going on in the United States and everything else, it was just kind of a relief to find somebody and an event that was just surrounded in love and excitement, wasn't it? Yeah, and I thought that minister rocked too. Yeah, who knew? So good morning, we're glad you're here. We're going to start out with our wonderful soloist today. Mission statement, no. Soloist first, then mission statement. I got that wrong last week. If you haven't noticed, we tried to revamp the service a little bit. And like everything else, it just takes time to get a little comfortable and get in the swing of things. So just kind of be patient with us. So no, we do that afterwards, because that leads us into meditation. So Chadwick has to sing first. First off, this young gentleman came in from Las Vegas to perform for us today, and he is amazing. So I sing. Just wait.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you all today. Thank you. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun up in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel, don't you know it? River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, here you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know it? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, and that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. And I'm feeling good. When you shine, you know what I mean, don't you know it? Scent of a pine, you know what I mean. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life, a new life for me. And I'm feeling so good. So good, so good. I'm feeling good. So good. How about you? Y'all feeling good? I'm feeling good. So good. So good. Oh yeah. So good. So good. I'm feeling good.
Wow. Chadwick, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Wow, wait. So tell us about, where do you perform locally so people can come see you?
Well, I live in Las Vegas and I perform often at the Red Rock. You can check out my website because I play all around Las Vegas and a lot of venues. It changes all the time. But I come to Palm Springs and play in the Purple Room from time to time. So I think I'll be back here in November.
November.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wasn't he
Thank you so much.
fantastic? Let's hear it for Chadwick,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
A lot of sound coming from a little guy. At 9 a.m., I know. Look at you. Look at you. Wow. Wasn't that fun? Wow, what a find. Okay. We're going to go to our meditation time, and the first thing we do is we always read our mission statement as we go in there. So let's join together, please. Here we go. Our mission. We are dynamic, open, and positive faith community that accepts all religions. Our mission is to awaken you to your divine nature, empowering you to create the life of your dreams. We are changing lives one heart at a time. Let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath in. Nice centering breath. And there is a lot going on in the world around us, and some great things and some not so great things at all. And maybe in your own life you're experiencing the same thing. Maybe some things are working and some things aren't. But when we go into our quiet time here, this allows us the opportunity to move into that space for the service this morning where we're open and receptive to whatever message our consciousness is ready to hear. So let's take another deep breath in. Still my mind, be at peace. In my awakening, I release. As I love, sing after me please. As I love and as I give, in my awakening, I choose to live. Give me strength. Shine your light. In my awakening. Clear my sight. All I believe, and all I know, in my awakening, I let go. Om Shanti, 2 times through. Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti,
And as we awaken to the divine within us this beautiful, beautiful morning, we recognize there is only one power, one presence, one source of life, and that is God. God is everywhere present. God is all-loving and all-knowing. God is the source of our energy, and it gives of itself unceasingly to us as it guides us rightly through our lives. And as I know that that one dwells within me, that it expresses in, as, and through me, by means of me, I feel its beingness, its love, its joy, its wisdom coming forth from me through my words, my actions, and my deeds, inspiring others to see the light shining within themselves. And so on this beautiful day, it's a time to see truth, to let go of anything that does not resonate with the divine, a day to see beyond appearances, to see beyond what we're told as rumors and gossip, news and this and that, and to go deeper, to see spirit, to see the light and the love that is within this whole human experience, expressing through all beings. And as we lift our eyes to see a bigger picture, to be able to see how truly this is God unfolding, although sometimes we may doubt that, we know better. We know that Spirit is the great director of life, and we are all directed to be better, to see more clearly, and to let that divinity shine forth from us. And so I'm so grateful to be here today, to just be showered with Spirit, to hear it through Dr. Joe, through our musicians, to see it through our practitioners and ministers, and to see it through each other, just knowing that the God in us honors the God in everybody. And so with so much love in my heart for this day that is before us, knowing that there are boundless possibilities to be better, to do better, and to love deeper, with love in my heart for the goodness of Spirit that is demonstrating through us all, I now release my word to that perfect law of mind, knowing that it returns fulfilled, pressed down, and overflowing, and I am oh so grateful for that. And so knowing this is complete, please join me as we say together, and so it is. Amen.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, all around, all I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love, and I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me now and evermore. Let's take a deep breath in. Let's join together, please. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. Let's keep going. All right, everybody, let's raise it up. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. Let's sing it together again. Sing it out like we're singing it out to the world. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. Last time through. Here we go. Big. Sing it big. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. We all are one. We all are one. Last time. We all are one.
This is a song that I'd like to share with you that I wrote. And I wrote this song, it's called Remember Love. I wrote it about the loss of memory, about Alzheimer's, dementia, something that's very close to my heart. And I like to think of it as a love letter from a caregiver to someone who's losing their memory or struggling with their memory. This is called Remember Love. You're on the outside looking in, not quite sure of where you've been. Unnamed faces, familiar places. Will you connect it all again? Can't hold the moments that made you mine. We're losing who and how and when. Missing traces, time erases. Won't lose who you are, just where you've been. You remember love, so you remember me. In the darkness of the night, let me be the light you see. Oh, you remember me. There was a time when I lost my way, was so confused until you said, our mind deceives us, but heart redeems us. Follow your heart, it'll show you the way. Tonight, let's both forget the past. Our moments now, let's make it last. Time it binds us, love it finds us. With open hearts we hold today. You remember love, so you remember me. In the darkness of the night, let me be the light you see, or say you remember me. I'll be your breath, I'll be your sound. When no one hears you and there's no one around, I'll be your song, I'll be your bright light. When every star in the sky goes out, you remember love, so you remember me. In the darkness of the night, let me be the light you see. I know you remember me.
Thank you. Thank you, Patty. Thank you. Um, 4 years ago, yesterday, I lost my dad to Alzheimer's and dementia, so it was just yesterday. I gotta stay in the back second service for that number. That, and I gotta put waterproof mascara on. Oh, wasn't that beautiful? All right, I'm a mess. Okay. All right. Now I gotta do my job. Thank you, Chadwick. All right, give me just a second, just one more second. Here, talk to yourselves. All right, how'd you do on your prayer last week? Remember we learned how to pray? For those of you here last week, we did the big prayer method. Wasn't that great? I have to tell you that last week, I went out dancing with my friends, and some of them were at the center last week, and so we realized that you can actually do that to disco tunes, too, not just I Am So Blessed. So there's actually video out there. It's pretty scary. Okay. So last week we talked about prayer. Today we're going to talk about the law of mental equivalence, which means transcending the facts and revealing truth. So today I'm going to get into some, last week we got into some pretty, step-by-step stuff. And this week we have to continue that journey, because in order to pray effectively, there has to be a few components to your prayer that you have to have within you. And we're going to talk about that today. So here is your affirmation. Let's do it together, please. I am a magnet. I attract what I desire, and I manifest it through my belief in the perfect order of the universe. Do you believe that to be true? Yes. I'm going to add this. I attract what I desire. I also attract what I don't desire and think about. Is that fair? Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Principle of mental equivalence. There's this aspect of prayer called mental equivalence and the understanding of metaphysics. Everything that is consciously and subconsciously or subjectively embodied in our thinking tends to radiate an atmosphere, a vibration, a current of thought, an inward acceptance which automatically attracts to itself that which is like itself. So what this is saying in essence is this. There is something that consciously and subconsciously we begin to create what I've called in the past the thoughtmosphere. You create a thougmosphere, and it has an energy, and it has a vibration. And like things are attracted to whatever is in your thoughtmosphere, not just the things you want, but also the things that you're just thinking about. Does that make sense? So keep in mind, we have to be really careful because our conscious mind is working for us, and sometimes we have what we call unconscious beliefs or patterns or thoughts about ourselves, and we're also attracting those because that's in our, what I want to call, thoughtmosphere. Are you with me? That's what it is. Are you with me, Mark? 23 times I said it last week. Yeah. Does that make sense? He got on me because I said, does it make sense 23 times last week? All right. Spiritual healing is a revelation even though we have to go through a process to arrive at it. So when we are talking about spiritual healing, healing your finances, healing your relationships, healing your body, healing the spirit, the broken heart, it goes through a process. And it's not just about a revelation of something, it's about a process of stepping through it. Each must work out their own method and pursue their own logic. In other words, first off, the way I do it may not be the way you're going to do it. And the way it works for me may not be the way it works for you. Everyone has a unique relationship with this thing we call spirit, so no two are going to be the same. So understand, it's not like you want to learn the trick equation, because the equation doesn't work the same for everybody. You have to learn your equation because you're in relationship, a special relationship with spirit. Does that make sense? Sorry, there you go. Are you marking them down? I know you are. If their method and logic leads them to the right conclusion, they will be rewarded with an affirmative answer. So you know when you know, because when the answer's right, it's there. And you help co-create that. The measure of our faith in the infinite is the measure of our capacity to draw from the infinite. So here, let's establish this. In the mental equivalent, the level of my awareness and my faith is my level to draw into my experience those events which correspond with my level of understanding. All right? I know you guys are asleep. Try it again. Thank you. So if I can't imagine having a certain experience because it's just out of my realm of consciousness or my level of belief, then I will never have that. And how many times have you said, oh, I can't even imagine what that would be like to do that. I can't even imagine going there or imagine doing this, or I can't imagine finding another husband. I can't imagine finding another relationship. I can't imagine what it would be like not to be in pain. Ouch. I can't imagine what it would be like to not have my hip or my body part hurt. What are you saying to the universe? What's your thoughtmosphere when you're saying that? What are you attracting? I can't heal. Mental equivalent. You're setting together a mental equivalent of something that's not going. I can't imagine what it would be like to have money in my checkbook at the end of the month. I can't imagine. Those words are really powerful. Why? Because they're attracting to you that experience. You want to think there's some sort of way that the universe doesn't hear those words because they're negative in context. But if that was the case, you wouldn't be experiencing the negative experience. You're experiencing the negative experience because you actually created it through your own mind. Sucks, doesn't it? But that's what we do. That's what we do. It is in accord to our mental acceptance or mental equivalence, according to our faith that manifests through us. So when we make those comments, those flippant little comments, what it's really saying is, I don't have faith in the universe to provide for me and my desires. That's a pretty heavy stuff. I'm going to read this to you. It's not in your notes because I just found it last night. The law of polarity is, of course, a cosmic law. Everything is produced by two other things. Anything that has ever been produced anywhere in the universe is produced by two other things. The law is the law of polarity. In the organic world, we see it as parenthood. It takes two things to make the one, whether it's human beings, animals, whatever it is, in the organic world, right? Excuse me. In the inorganic world, the world of physics and chemistry, we see it as protons and electrons. File this. It takes two things to create all things. Are you ready? Let's move on. This is how the material universe is built up. It always takes two things to produce a third. And that's the real meaning of the word Trinity. It takes two to produce the third. Trinity doctrines were here long before the times of Christianity. There were trinities in ancient Egypt, India, and Babylonia. Always there is a trinity: Father, Mother, Child, activity, material, production. Go where you like, seek what you will find the Trinity. It's the buildup of two poles of clarity, of thought and warmth of feeling, and the knowledge of the feeling. Hang with me. 90 times in 100, the reason why metaphysical students do not demonstrate in this is they lack the feeling in their prayers. I know what to say, I know what to think, but I'm lacking the feeling which creates it. Does that make sense? 23. They speak the truth. Oh yes, I am a divine spirit. I am one with God, but they do not feel it. The second part is missing. When they talk about their troubles, they are full of feeling, but when they talk about the truth, they're as cold as dead fish. Let that bake, so to speak. Think about it. When I talk about how lousy something is, I have such passion and feeling about it. Anybody? I mean, you really know what that feels like. But when I talk about truth, I talk about it, but not nearly as much passion comes out in that experience, in that conversation. Are we willing to admit that we're passionate about what doesn't work, but less passionate about our faith and what can work? And that many times our prayers, if it's done unto us as we believe, that part of the polarity that isn't in place. The emotion of something has to be fully present. Yes? Absolutely. It gives you something to think about, doesn't it? It gives us something to think about. All right, moving on. We create the nucleus which attracts to itself its correspondence in due order until the work is finished and manifested on the external plane. So, everything is a spiritual prototype. Our thought of anything forms a spiritual prototype of it, thus consisting of a nucleus of center of attraction for all conditions necessary to its eventual externalization by law of growth inherent in the prototype itself. Let me unpack this. This comes right from the textbook. I'm teaching you textbook science of mind. That's all. I'm just textbook science of mind. We create spiritual prototypes. That spiritual prototype is the idea that you have. I have an idea. Then after I have the idea, I attach some level of belief to it. From the level of belief, and the idea, it begins to create itself and things begin to happen in the external world to support that prototype coming to life. At the level of your belief, which will be the level of your demonstration. Are you bored? Okay, good. Describing our good will bring it into sight. We feel less spiritual inspiration when we are whining and complaining, but when we shift and begin to praise and describe the good we desire, we get a sense of renewed spiritual fervor. Think about it. When we're whining and complaining, what's our vibration? But start talking about what you're dreaming about. Just talking about it. Start talking about what you're dreaming about and let that feel. Take the doubt away from it. Take the, I hope it's God's will. Take it, all the other stuff that you've negatively been patterned to believe, and just speak of it with a sense of excitement. You know, Reverend Marion, she popped that word out, that phrase quite a while ago, joyous expectancy. It's in our textbook all over, but she picked it up and started using it. Joyous expectancy. What are you expecting joyously in your life? If you can't tell me, then don't expect to be joyous. Ooh. Right? If you don't have something you are joyously expecting, then how can you expect anything to be joyous? Because you haven't even given the universe the prototype to work with. You haven't given it the tool. You haven't given it one part, a third of the Trinity is missing. We don't talk about the Trinity in the center. It's very odd for me to say the word Trinity. I feel very Lutheran or something. But we don't talk about that. But it's actually what it is. Two things becoming the third. You're missing the first thing. And the second thing has to be a belief in it. Has to have that passion to it to make the third thing that you want. This makes such sense. How do we forget this? How do we forget this? Together, please. I am a magnet. I attract what I desire, and I manifest it through my belief in the perfect order of the universe. I am convinced that this crisis activities that we see throughout our nation and world are an outpicturing of our collective cry for a new way in the world. I am convinced that these horrific things that are happening in our country and in the world, it's a cry for people to wake up. And I think more and more people are waking up. I really do think that. I think there is a shift happening. Now, shift happens slowly, but shift happens. So careful on that line. Just like Easter Sunday a few years ago. Okay. Centers for Spiritual Living Communities envisioned a world that's working for everyone. We've demonstrated that beliefs are not dependent on conditions in the outer world. Rather, we experience the outer world as the demonstration of our inner world of beliefs. Yeah? So it's the outer world is just something we're dealing with, but that's actually the expression of what's already happened on the inside. We know that we can try to put the fire extinguisher onto these fires, but if we don't change the inside and the thing that's causing the fire, we're just going to have more fires. And so we're giving you the mechanics to change that, the spiritual tools that you use to change that in your own life and in the life of our world, your family and your world, your neighborhoods, your workplaces, your communities. These are the tools that we use to do that. Before you cringe at the next slide, and you will. You will, because I did as I wrote it. Before you cringe at the next slide, please open up to the idea that we need to reframe some of our past beliefs in order to look at life through new enlightened eyes. In order to clear the way for something new, we have to confront our past. So I'm going to put up something that's somewhat disturbing because a lot of us were brought up this way. And when you're brought up this way, you have in your thoughtmosphere a past that contains this idea until you overwrite it with the new idea. Yeah? There? Good. Being poor is a sin. Being sick is a sin. Being unhappy is a sin. Being lonely is a sin. Being fearful is a sin. How many people just went back to their Assembly of God Catholic churches just now when they hear that? You went right back. These things are a sin, the word sin. But now I want to reframe this. Because if you think about it, these statements are totally true. Let's reframe them understanding the truth. Sin is an error. It's a mistake. It's missing the mark. So sickness, poverty, unhappiness, loneliness, being fearful are all mistakes of the mind that have manifested them in our experience. So when we hear the word sin, sometimes we're like, oh man, sin? Really? God, what kind of play? Joe's talking about sin? Yeah. We're talking about missing the mark. We're talking about making the mistake. It is not natural for us to be unhappy. That's unnatural. We were meant to stay in a state of we're meant to be in a state of harmony and balance and order. We're meant to live an abundant life. We're not meant to suffer or be fearful. We're not to experience scarcity. Scarcity is just saying, I don't know how to use these spiritual laws. And someone will say, but you don't know who I am. And I'm like, but you use the same laws I use. You have access to the same laws I use. You have a consciousness that can go to the same belief that I have or someone else has that you can emulate. But what makes that different is my level of understanding, my mental equivalence. If I don't have it in my mental equivalent, it's not going to be in my life in any way, shape, or form. If I don't have health as a mental equivalent and what health means, right? What health means. And if I don't have joy, and I don't have happiness, and I don't have friendship and companionship, and if I don't have balance and order, if every time I turn around and I say to myself, oh my God, my life is a mess, boom, you shall have it, and you shall have it abundantly, pressed down and flowing over. Anybody? There is a subtle atmosphere around us which, perceived by us, is silently attracting people to us or repelling them from us. Remember that. And remember, you never really do anything alone. It usually takes people. Anybody need a plumber? People. It takes people to do things. I love the Chadwick song here about the caregiver. You know, and remember, when you sign on for a mental equivalent of marriage, or a committed relationship, and you get one, this is part of what we sign on for, is the certainty or uncertainty of what happens in life unfolding. And when you're in, you're in. So when you pray for something, you accept all of the terms and conditions attached to the contract. Whether it's a personal contract, a professional contract, a physical contract, a financial, it makes no difference. When we sign in for all of it. Does that make sense? 23. We entertain negative mental equivalents all the time. Mental equivalence. So now I want you to think of the words mental equivalent as negative experiences in your life, and how I want you to take responsibility for how you have framed them, how you have breathed life into them, how you have spoken about them, either out loud or in your head. Everything that is consciously and subjectively embodied in our thinking tends to radiate an atmosphere, a vibration, a current of thought, an inward acceptance which automatically attracts to itself that which is like itself. That is what a mental equivalent is. That was our definition at the beginning. Now I want you to use it in the context of how have you done what you've done to create this, and now how can you use this to create something else? Okay, good. All right. Watch what you're entertaining. Together, please. I am a magnet. I attract what I desire, and I manifest it through my belief in the perfect order of the universe. Water will reach its own level by its own weight. Do you agree with that? Yes. Scientific, right? So here's what Dr. Holmes wrote. A person who has worked for $10 a week has no mental equivalent for $500. There must be something inside of us which equals the thing that we want to do. If you would equally distribute money among everybody, in 2 or 3 years, those who have no mental equivalent will not have the money. The people who are the most consciously aware along these lines will get it back. Ooh. Which means what? Which means not only do I have to have the desire to have that additional stuff in my life, whatever it is, it could be money, it could be a relationship, it could be health, but I have to have the consciousness to sustain it. I have to have the understanding. I have to be willing to learn new things that I think I know, but if I knew them, I'd already have it in my life. If it's missing from your life, then you have to ask yourself, have I created the mental equivalent, and have I done the work necessary to not only give birth to it, but to sustain it? Because if I don't, it will come into my life and it will go just like this, away from my life. Because it takes work. It's not something that happens through osmosis. Just because this windfall of stuff happens in your life doesn't mean that you have the windfall of the right knowledge and wisdom to sustain something. It requires that we continue to evolve, think, and work and do our work. Is this making sense? 26. Is this making sense? Seriously, is this? Because I want to make sure that you walk away not going, oh my God, I feel depressed, but that you look at your life and go, okay, this is what's happened. If you had the mental equivalent for whatever it is you desired and you had the belief, the passion about it, you would be experiencing, thank you, you'd be experiencing that already. So you have to go and take an inventory and say, is it my belief that's lacking? Is it my passion that's lacking, or is it a process that I don't understand how to do to make it manifest in my life? Bingo? Home run today, right? Thank you. The least we can do is to create mental patterns of what we want rather than what we don't want. This last line is the most important in this slide. We did not create the physical universe, but we can and do decide what our relationship to it will be. I may not have created something in Texas this week, but I have to find out how to be in relationship with it. And when I walk around and I hold on to the negativity, what am I going to create more of? It's so easy to be angry and upset, and I get that. I get that. But I also know, because these laws are spiritual and are reliable as gravity, and they work like gravity. You cannot pick and choose which ones are going to work in which way. They work the way they work. So we are adding to the greater problems when we don't become solution-oriented. And if we don't become action-oriented, if we don't become part of a consciousness that's creating a healing, creating the bridges that need to be built, rather than feeling like we need to continue being angry about something. If you're angry about it, what is your mental equivalent? Anger. What are you going to create more of? Anger. What are you passionate about? The anger. Are you as passionate about the healing as you are about your anger? Whoo. So we can't just do, the least we can do is start to create an atmosphere in our minds where we look at these conditions and we say, I didn't create this physical universe, but I do have to learn to live beside it. And whether it's a global thing or whether it's like Chadwick's song, I'm a caregiver for a loved one. I may not have created the physical universe that this person is experiencing, but I have to learn to live alongside it. I have to create my relationship with it. I may not have created some of the things that are in my life because I married them to them or they happened to me. I can't be responsible for how they manifested, but I have to be responsible about how I'm going to relate to them. And that's where my mental equivalent comes from. Last one. Together. I am a magnet. I attract what I desire, and I manifest it through my belief in the perfect order of the universe. And so ends your lesson. Thank you, everybody. Oh, let me get you that microphone. I'll get it. Let's all welcome Laura back, everybody. Laura's back.
I'm back. Missed you guys. I could watch you, though, from Brazil. It was wonderful. So at this time, I'd like to call our ushers. Please come forward. And so this is a sacred time of our service. This is that point of mental equivalent. We give not to grade the talk or the music. We give from that place in our heart where we know that what we put in the universe comes back to us pressed down and overflowing. So we turn in with faith and we give from that place of gratitude. So those of you that are love streaming, there's a donate button there for you to help support our love streaming, and also you can also text your offering. So, from this place of gratitude, let us together say our prayer. I offer this gift with joy and gratitude. I receive freely and give freely, knowing the law of circulation is working perfectly in my life and the life of the center.
All right, folks, here we go. Sing it out. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Let it again all the way through. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Our turn. It's up to me to be grateful. It's up to me to be kind. It's up to me to be grateful. It's up to me. It's up to me. All right, everybody stand up. Let's go. Sing it out. Here we go. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Last time through. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life.
Whoa. All right. So this is Terry Maple. He is on our board of trustees, and he is a good steward of our money, of our collection. He helps with that consciousness. So let us together bless this offering and say our prayer together, please. We bless this collective offering and receive it with gratitude, knowing it is spirit in action. As this currency flows through our center and beyond, it blesses many lives, including my own. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. So at this time, I'd like to welcome our visitors. If you are here for the first time, please stand. We want to welcome you, and we have a gift for you. Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. And so what we're giving you is a CD with information about our center, but please go outside to the foyer and pick up a CD of Dr. Joe's talks, and we welcome you. And if you're from the Valley, hope you come back and make this your spiritual home. If you're visiting, enjoy your stay here in the desert. Over in the Ohm room, we have our 1-minute miracles, and these are our practitioners that are over there. They are part of our prayer team. If you're going through anything or you want to set that mental equivalent, that's a good place to do it over there. And so today, we have our little cute little furry friends. So they're out there on the patio, and they've got baked goods and all kinds of goodies. And
thank everybody for the donations for the rummage sale. We had a hugely successful rummage sale, so thank you for that.
oh, thank you, everyone.
And Jilly for organizing it.
All right, thank you. So go out there and visit this Oliver. Look at it, they're so cute. He was left on a porch somewhere. He needs a home. Yes, you need somebody to love, right, Oliver? And another one. Not sure of his name, but he's out there too. So please join them out there. So don't forget what's going on. My book study, I apologize for last Tuesday for anybody who showed up and I wasn't there, but I will be there this week. So please join us and pick up your program to see what all is happening here at the center. So it's wonderful to be back. So let's just do a closing prayer. Oh, so right here, right now, I recognize this sacred moment. I recognize that divine presence is right here, expressing by means of each and every one of us. Each one of us is this divine creator of our life, of our universe. So we create that mental equivalent. That which we desire, we are passionate. We look at that which we desire to bring into our life. And we turn away from the lack. We turn away from any anger, anything that doesn't express that wholeness, that love, that perfection, which is spirit, which is what we are. We are the perfect reflection of that divine mind, of that divine goodness, of that love, prosperity, wholeness, and abundance. And so I know for each and every one of us that we go about our lives with this in our hearts, with this in our minds and our awareness, and we create that Trinity. We create that Trinity so that we may be that perfection in the world which we are. So grateful for Dr. Joe's talk to remind us of the truth of who we are and the power that we have, for this music, for our singer that opened our hearts to that love which we came here to express. I know that this is the truth, and so I just wait with great expectancy for all the gifts of the universe to be mine. I call them forth with great expectation and love and enthusiasm, and I release my word to the law of mind, knowing that this is the truth and knowing that this is so. And join me as we say together, and so it is. Amen. Have a wonderful week, everyone.